Erase the modern borders separating India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. Before 1905, this territory was governed as a single bloc, the Bengal Presidency. Spanning West Bengal, Bangladesh, Bihar, Orissa, and Assam, it held 78.5 million people, an administrative nightmare too vast for one governor to manage. But the paperwork was a convenient excuse. The real concern for the British was centered in the western region, specifically in Calcutta, where a highly educated middle class known as the Bhadraloks was gaining influence. These Bengali elites were organizing. They formed the intellectual and financial core of the Indian National Congress, building a vocal opposition to British rule. The British faced two simultaneous problems: a genuine administrative burden and a growing political rebellion. Partition offered a way to solve both, dismantling the Bengali political core before it influenced the rest of the subcontinent. Lord Curzon, the Viceroy of India, designed a plan to break this political power without appearing to attack it directly. In October 1905, Curzon sliced the province down the middle, separating the Hindu West from the Muslim East, merging it with Assam. To dilute Calcutta's elites, Curzon combined West Bengal with Bihar and Orissa, making Bengali-speaking Hindus a minority in their own newly drawn province. The Partition of Bengal was a geographic maneuver. By manipulating boundaries, the colonial government attempted to isolate dissenting voices, submerging them with a new demographic landscape. The response was immediate. Protesters blockaded schools, closed shops, and burned British-made goods in the street, launching the Swadeshi movement, a massive economic boycott. Renowned poet Rabindranath Tagore encouraged citizens to protest by tying Rakis, traditional bracelets symbolizing sibling bonds, across Hindu-Muslim lines, asserting that a shared cultural heritage could not be severed by religious divisions. The outrage shifted the direction of the Indian National Congress. A new extremist faction emerged, moving past requests for reform to demand total autonomy from British rule. Curzon's attempt to quiet the nationalists achieved the exact opposite. The partition provided a unifying cause that turned localized protests into a militant, nationwide push for independence. In East Bengal, the reaction was different. With a new capital in Dhaka, a historically neglected population saw an influx of targeted investment, administrative positions, and educational access. With a guaranteed Muslim majority in the east, this demographic gained a regional political voice that had previously been overshadowed by the interests of Calcutta. This regional empowerment led to formal political organization. In 1906, leaders met in Dhaka to found the All India Muslim League. While protesters in the west fought to reunify Bengal, the isolated majority in the east realized they now held significant political leverage. For 6 years, the colonial government failed to suppress the Swadeshi riots. The boycotts continued to drain British profits and disrupt order. In 1911, King George V arrived at the Delhi Durbar and announced a full reversal. Bengal would be reunified. To escape the rebellious atmosphere of Bengal, the British moved their colonial capital entirely. They relocated the center of government from Calcutta to New Delhi. In East Bengal, the reversal felt like a betrayal. Muslim leaders realized the British were willing to sacrifice their regional interests to quiet Hindu protesters in the West. Reunification restored the border on paper, but it could not erase the newfound political competition between communities. The years of partition had introduced a religious lens to Bengali politics that would eventually override shared cultural history. By 1947, when the British finally exited the subcontinent, the territory was divided again, this time permanently, into the nations of India and Pakistan. The 1947 Radcliffe Line that split Bengal followed nearly the same path Lord Curzon had mapped out 4 decades earlier. The 6-year administrative experiment of 1905 provided the geographical and psychological blueprint for the 1947 borders of India and East Pakistan. Lord Curzon's map was officially discarded in 1911, but the division it created remained. The decision to split Bengal permanently altered the political landscape, dictating the modern borders of South Asia.